So let's go over an example Dryland workout that will have what I think are some of the most beneficial exercises that you can do on land for swimming, along with any adaptations like regressions, progressions, and how many reps, how many sets you could or should be doing depending on your level. So starting out, we're going to start with pull-ups. Now, if you haven't watched the pull-up video I did instructing on how you can regress or progress the pull-ups and how I want you to have your hands, that's really specific towards swimming, I'll link that above and you can go watch that. It's really quick. But for Dryland, because swimming is such an upper body heavy sport, I suggest either starting with this exercise or starting with the next exercise, which would be broad jumps, just because broad jumps are they're the most explosive, they're gonna be your start, and they require the most freshness out of your body, versus pull-ups, biggest upper body taxing thing, going to be hardest on your body to actually build that, get that strength, and it's going to be harder to do that at the end of a workout. So starting out here, get your pull-up bar. You want to wrap your hand knuckle over the bar, right? So you got to get that curl in with your wrist as much as you can tolerate. It's going to simulate the pull down in your stroke. And then from there, if you want, you can get your resistance band that is a loop and put it around. If you have a squat rack, loop this around, and you would step onto this to use as assistance if you need it. If you don't need assistance, I would shoot for anywhere between 3 sets of 5 to 15 reps, depending on your level. So same with, if you need assistance, shoot for those same rep ranges. Also with these workouts in general, you could do all the pull-ups at 3 sets of 5 to 15 reps with amount of rest between 2 to 5 minutes. Or if you're kind of short on time, you can shoot for a circuit type workout where you do the pull-ups and then move on to the set of the next exercise. But ideally, your pull-up will look like this. So hands over. If you wrap your thumb around your hand, it's going to be better for more grip strength. If you wrap it over the bar, you'll have more endurance. So you'll be able to hang on for longer, but it might be harder to get the pull-up down. So you're gonna pull, think about pulling your elbows to the floor, up as high as you can, and then slowly lower back down with control. All the way back down, because we are reaching as far as we can overhead when we're swimming. Next exercise on the list is broad jumps, which basically just means you're going to jump as far forwards as you can. If you need to, or if you just don't feel as safe, you can swap this out for box jumps. What I prefer though is that you actually keep your legs relatively straight, or as straight as you can, as you're jumping up onto the box. That way you're not just compensating by curling your hips in and trying to get your legs up as high as you can. You're actually jumping that high as keeping your legs straight. So broad jump looks like this. So I'm going to start here, have my arms prepped, and from here I'm going to push my hips back, bend my knees, and then explode forward as far as I can. Right now I'm in socks, floor isn't ideal, but I would try to stick the landing as best I can and then reset from there. That is about 3 sets of 5. We don't want to go overboard with the explosive stuff because it ends up just being junk volume after that. So 3 sets of 5, or again, if you're doing a circuit type workout, you do 3 rounds of each exercise. Now, next on the list is planks. So this one, you can be on your elbows or in a push-up position, whichever is more comfortable for you, really doesn't matter. What I really want to care about is your trunk position. So I'll show you what I mean sideways here. So a bad trunk position during a plank would look something like that, where I'm just kind of sagging my hips down. What I want is a nice curl here. I'm thinking about bringing my pelvis towards my rib cage. I'm just gonna hold that. Now your goal here is 30 seconds up to 2 minutes. Especially if you're doing longer events, 2 minutes is where you wanna be at. Just to be able to hold that position because it's so relevant for swimming in that horizontal position. If you're just a regular person who doesn't swim, then planks might not be the biggest deal for you, but swimming, I think they're really beneficial just because you're in that horizontal position and you need to maintain a horizontal angle without sagging and letting your hips drop. Now, the next drill that I want to add in for the Dryland is something that I recently saw that I think really helps you connect your hip drive to your pole in the water. So I want to show you how I set this up. So part one is that I have a band wrapped around a stable surface, which I've made as a barbell with some weights pinning it down. If you have like an ottoman at your home or something like a heavy couch or table leg that isn't going to move, you could use that. From there, part two is I have another band wrapped around a higher surface like a pull-up bar. You could use a stair railing if you are at home and don't have this available to you. But let me show you how this gets set up. So what I'm going to just start doing is take the band here, put it on my left shoulder, then I'm going to wrap it around behind me this way so that it also gets wrapped around my hip here. Now from here, I'm going to grab my other band on the squat rack, and then feet about shoulder width apart. You can have it a little closer to simulate kicking, but what I'm going to do, pull down with my right arm like I'm pulling the stroke, and then simultaneously my left arm and my left hip are going to come up, and my hip is going to drive forward. So it looks like this. You can play around how your left arm comes up. Doesn't matter so much, similar to the recovery stroke. But what I'm doing here is pushing forward with my hip, and that's where I feel the resistance. So here, this helps connect the feeling of driving your kick with your stroke. And you can repeat on the other side.